Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday mail call. This week in the mailbox, I got a letter with a very interesting question. If you have a mail call question, first of all, there you go, Stu Pluback Currency, P.O. Box 171, Russell, Illinois 60075. That is the address for the mail call. This was an interesting letter, short, sweet, to the point, and provocative. Greetings. What is your prediction for the future popularity of currency collecting? Growing, stable, or declining? And his historical perspective is stamp collecting, which is, in his opinion, has massively declined due to poor interest by younger generations. For that, yes, I completely agree. Stamp collecting has fallen to the wayside. I don't follow stamps, never have followed stamps. The closest I ever got into stamp collecting, I did buy a bag full of random collectible stamps at a garage sale once. I don't even know where that bag is. I don't know that I ever went through it, but I thought, hey, I bet there's something in here, and I paid $10 for the entire bag. No idea what it was. I don't even know where it is. Coin collecting, in his opinion, is stable. However, he says, I am concerned about the future because I mainly see my baby boomer generation as the majority of collectors. I understand that process. I totally get it. Thank you for the valuable education services that your videos provide. Sincerely, Stephen. All right, well, Stephen, thank you very much for sending the letter and giving me the idea as to where I can go with this. What do I feel about the currency collecting hobby as far as the future goes? The hobby right now has gone into a gigantic boom. Everybody seems to be interested in the hobby. I'm not sure that that will continue, but I do believe there is always going to be interest in currency. The people that collect coins are aware that coins are money. It's not just collecting precious metals. They're collecting money, and they're collecting money from the past. Nothing demonstrates how the value of a dollar changes over the course of time than collecting money. What do I mean by that? We don't have half-cent pieces anymore. We barely have a use for a 1-cent piece. Yet some of these are the most highly collectible coins in American history. But as the value of a dollar drops over time, which it has over 200 years, a lot of people like to say the value of a dollar has changed tremendously in the last year. No, that's not the case. A dollar is still a dollar. But what ends up happening is people start to make more money throughout the course of their lives. I'm addressing the baby boomer generation. When you are young, you're doing everything you can to find a house and start a family and everything else. And then you spend your middle years taking care of kids, growing a family. Once you get to the age where everybody has moved out, well, now you don't have to spend all that money anymore. Now you've got money to spend on yourself. That, to me, is the biggest reason why you see the older generation collecting coins. It harkens to the past, of course, which is, as I get older, something that I notice I tend to be doing more and more of, looking back and seeing stuff like that. That is why you see older collectors, and even older collectors just starting to get into the hobby, because now they have that type of income. Now, when you start to see certain pieces of currency and you compare that to the coins, oh yeah, gold is pretty, but there are only so many different gold coins that are affordable. There are only so many different silver coins until you look at just changing the number, and how many times can you change a number and still be interested? Yeah, it's cool to fill that one hole, but as I've said many, many, many times, in the world of coin collecting, it seems to be that the only thing stopping you from filling a set is the amount of money in your pocket. Because if you're looking for a particular coin, it's going to be at virtually every show you go to. The question is, will you be able to get it at an affordable price? That, to me, is always how I've looked at coin collecting. When you talk about currency, you're not dealing with the same numbers. A rare coin may be one of 20,000. Okay. A rare note may only have 10 notes left in existence. And yet the rare note isn't worth as much as that rare coin. And to me, that just blows my mind. You can take notes like the $20, the first note I ever bought, the $20 gold certificate. Okay, if you look at that note, at the time that was worth 1 ounce of gold. Well, 1 ounce of gold today is worth $2,000. And that note that was exchangeable for 1 ounce of gold is only worth 300. Are there more ounces of gold, or are there more of these notes left? You tell me. I would say that there are probably more ounces of gold than $20 gold certificates. And if that's the case, which one should be valued higher? And well, you can see there's a lot of room for that to grow. So that's my view on the future. And let's see, I should probably include, yes, coin collectors do make up the bulk of the collecting community, but coin collectors will also dabble in currency. And as long as the coin collecting community continues to dabble, there will always be demand for currency. Now, you don't even have to spend a ton of money. The best way to show this is instead of looking forward, because I can't prove forward, but what I can do is I can look back. And for a lot of people, they don't even realize that they're holding this in their hand. Here's paper money of the United States. And in the appendix, here is, let's see if I can do this without shaking the camera, history of uncirculated large size type notes. Okay. And they've got all these numbers listed. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can look in your own guidebook. And they talk about 1953, 1964, 75, 92, 2004, 2013, 2021. And these are for uncirculated notes. They have the FR numbers of all the different notes and how much the price has changed. So what I decided to do was, let's look at a couple. Okay. Here is a 1918 $2 battleship. You can see the FR on this particular one is 752. So let's take a peek at what this one shows here. FR, let's see, 747 is also a battleship, just a different signature combination. And as you can see, the first column is 1953. In 1953, you could have bought that note for $17.50. By the time you get to, where did it go? Let's see, yep. 747, so 1750. By the time you get to 1964, it was a $70 note. Then once you get to 1975, it's up to $110. By 1992, you're talking $425. By 2004, $1,350. By 2013, it was $2,500. Now, the current price is still roughly $2,500, but that doesn't change the fact that this particular note has skyrocketed from $17 to $2,500 over the course of 50 years. Now, I don't think a $1 bill has skyrocketed from $1 to $250, but that does show just one example of how much prices have increased. When you get demand, that's what raises the price. Supply versus demand. And the supply for paper notes is always going down. The demand, as long as there's any interest at all, will go up or at the very least stay the same. Here's another example. Here's another keynote. FR16, a $1 legal tender from 1862. It's the first note they list on here, isn't it? Sure is. In 1953, you could have bought this for $25. 64, it was $85. 75, it was $325. 1992, $650. 2004, $1,850. By 2013, it was $3,000, and today it's $3,750. So yeah, historically, you can always look back. Now, these may be considered some of the bigger ones, and here's the biggest one I'll show. This is a 1923 $10 legal tender known as the poker chip. And of course, it has the two giant poker chips on the back. This one we're going to see is FR123. And I'm not sure if they list this exact one or if, oh, here it is, 123, right there. And once again, we're talking $45 in 1953. And as we go forward, look at these prices. $32,000, $11,000 in 2013. And they have it at $11,000 in 2021 as well. Yeah, so you could have easily turned $45 into $11,000. Does it mean that that price is going to continue to go up? Not necessarily, but it is going to hold its value because, like I said, there are not more of these coming out. There are less. And what we are finding is more and more coin collectors are starting to add pieces of currency. Now, of course, we're talking about monster pieces here, like this one, but it's not to say that the lesser notes would have that same effect. I mean, for instance, here is an 1899 $1 silver certificate. Everybody would call this note affordable. Even right now, it's still affordable. And we're talking FR 236. If I look here, let's see, FR, there, 236. It was $4.50 in 1953. Then it goes to 18 in 1964, $42.50 by 1975. We can jump all the way up here and see that in 2004 it was up to $500. And of course, well, there's a typo. That's interesting. It was $2,350. Is that correct? Nope, I bumped up a notch. Yeah, $2,350 in uncirculated condition. That should be $2,600 there. But yeah, $500 even for 2004. It's just interesting to spot another boo-boo in their book. Anyway, it did not drop. That's just a typo. It did not drop $2,000 over the course of 3 years. But that's for a note that's $4.50 to start with. $4.50 was very affordable back then. Look at the returns. Even now, if you get one in lesser condition, you can still get one for $100 to $200, I'm sure. And, well, that's fairly affordable now. What does that say for the future? Well, it says that even the affordable notes are moving up. And maybe more so, because they're affordable, which is also known as accessible. The best thing about an affordable note is you can buy it, whereas you may not be able to buy a poker chip. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process. It's always neat to look at this appendix to see what has moved, how much it's moved, and to put a little bit of confidence in buying in the hobby when you see how much the prices have changed. Anything can happen, but I do not predict a collapse in paper money values. Because, like I said, they aren't making any more of it. Finding a piece of paper from 1862 is a pretty incredible find. The fact that it was spendable and in our pockets just adds to the allure. You can't argue about the beauty of the notes. You can't argue about the rarity. You can't argue about the historical significance. So yeah, paper money, every bit as good as coins. The only major difference is it doesn't have the precious metal value. But I'm pretty sure no one's going to be selling a 1909 SVDB penny for 3 cents because that's what copper's worth. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Thanks for the question. I always like to bring out this little portion of the book because so many people have this book and they never bother to read it. They never bother to read all the way to the back. So be sure to take a look at that. All right, guys, if you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you've got a question, you can always send it to my P.O. box. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.